happened to predictability? The milkman, the paperboy, the evening TV. Everywhere you look, there's a heart, a hand to hold on to. Everywhere you look, there's a face of somebody who needs you.
Hello, Johnny Holmes. I'm Nick Beeman.
And I'm Mary Glenn.
And this is your Aces broadcast.
Nick, let's start off with some sports.
Alright, well, the girls' soccer team had a loss to Northeastern in a conference matchup in the 10th round of PKs, and they have a home match against Pasquotank coming up. The boys' tennis team had a win against Northeastern, and they have their last home match against Hereford County coming up, as well as the conference tournament next week. The track team had a meet at Northeastern yesterday, and the baseball team lost over the spring break in the Easter tournament to Pasquotank. Please enjoy this interview with the new head football coach, Coach Hoggard, as well as the new athletic director, Wes Matera. Alright, I'm here with former coach Wes Matera, the new athletic director here at Johnny Holmes after Bob Turner's absence. And Matera was the coach from 2010 to 2013 here at Eatonton, and then left 1 year before returning as the athletic director head position. So, Matera, why don't you tell us a little bit about the difference in perspective between being a head coach and athletic director?
Well, I think when you're a head coach of one team, you focus on that sport and tend to focus on those guys. And now as an athletic director, I have to broaden the vision and try to look at every team and get to know every athlete. And I think that's something I'm going to enjoy, is getting to be around a lot of different sports and getting to know a lot of our athletes that I may not have come into contact with the last time I was here.
And so there's rumors that in the next few years, Eatonton could possibly see a classification change from maybe 2A to 1A, or depending on the system.
It just depends on which model the state chooses to use. There's 4 different scenarios that they've drawn up and sent out, and a lot of that depends on where the line falls, which scenario they're using, exactly how many students we got. Even if we do go 1A, we won't see a whole lot of change. And that's one thing good about this area. We'll still be playing pretty much the same people that we're playing. If we do go 1A, we could be in a league with Camden, Perquimans, Mania, Gates, Plymouth, and ourselves. And then we would cross-schedule still and still play Northeastern, Currituck, Pasquotank, potentially First Flight. So a lot of people think it's going to drastically change this when it really won't. And that's good because the schools are in close proximity. And there's already some pre-planning with some athletic directors who have some longevity in the area. They're being forthright and go ahead and doing some pre-planning as to, if that does happen, how things could work out and what the scenarios would look like.
So do you think the future of Aces Athletics is still as bright as it was in 2011?
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Coach Turner's done some great things. As my predecessor, our administration is very supportive of athletics. We have a great group of kids still coming through. And I think we can be as good as we want to be. We still need to make a commitment to the classroom. We still need to do some community service work and be involved in our churches. And then, of course, shine on the athletic field as well. But what's most important is our kids use the lessons that they learn from athletics and carry those out of Eatonton to their respective 2- or 4-year colleges or the workforce and become productive citizens.
All right, I'm here with the new head football coach at Johnny Holmes, Coach Hoggard. So how are you doing today, Coach Hoggard?
Doing good. Head spinning a little bit. Been here a couple of days and trying to get my feet on the ground, but doing good.
First impressions of Eatonton. Do you like the small town charm we have?
Sure. That was very attractive in coming back to this area. It's great to be back home. Like I was telling you earlier, I've been west of Raleigh for 28 years, so it's good to be back in eastern North Carolina.
Why don't you talk a little bit about that 28 years you've spent west of Raleigh?
Well, I grew up in Bertie County, went and played at East Carolina, left East Carolina, was in Virginia Beach for 6 months, and couldn't stand the population, the traffic, and the combustion of Virginia Beach, so got a job as an assistant coach at Bartlett Yancey High School, which is north of Greensboro. Was there for 2 years. Was then at Anson County for 4 years. Then took my first head job at West Caldwell High School in Lenore, North Carolina for 4 years. And then in '98, went to Richmond Senior High School and was there for 17 years. And now in Eaton, North Carolina.
That sounds very nice. So, in years past, Eatonton has traditionally had easier preseasons than the one you're looking at come August, with games against Rocky Mount, Booker T. Washington in downtown Norfolk, and Southwest Edgecombe. What do you think you can take away as a team from a tougher preseason, looking down the road towards playoffs?
Well, I'm used to, in all my years past, to play really tough non-conference schedule. I think it gets you prepared for your conference season and for the playoffs. I think the playoffs is the biggest indicator of making a tough non-conference schedule, and it gets you ready for some of those higher level games that you may play at the end of the year.
All right, well, we thank you, Coach, and we wish you the best of luck come August.
All right, thank you.
Mary Glenn, how about some announcements?
Okay, all returning football players are reminded to sell their fundraiser tickets and return the money to Coach John Nixon as soon as possible. Also, if you're interested in playing football and didn't attend the meeting on Monday, please see Coach Hoggard, Downing, Walker, or Coach Neff as soon as possible so they can get you signed up. And now, here's our Senior of the Week, Bryant Chappell.
We're here with Senior of the Week, Bryant Chappell. Hey, Bryant, how are you today?
I'm good. How about you?
All right, why don't you tell us about your favorite Johnny Holmes memory?
My favorite Johnny Holmes moment would probably be my first day of senior year, because I finally felt like I was on top of things. I've always been a little weak little freshman. I was like, top of the world.
What are you going to miss most about Johnny Holmes?
All the friends that I've made over the years. So, yeah.
That's nice. And what do you plan to do after this school year?
I plan to go to UNC Chapel Hill to study journalism.
All right, well, we wish you the best of luck, Bryant.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I have the privilege this week to highlight Bryant Chappell, our Senior of the Week. Bryant, I'm certainly proud of you being selected as our Senior of the Week. I have known you ever since you were born, had the privilege to be your principal at Walker School, as well as here at Johnny Holmes High School. I certainly appreciate your intellect, your love of reading, your use of vocabulary. Those things stand out for me as I think about you. I also am most impressed with your behavior. You have always exhibited those characteristics that we value in our schools, of people who are well behaved. Finally, Bryant, I had the opportunity to interview you for a scholarship, and in doing so, was able to read your essay about your hero, and it just warmed my heart, the things that you said about your mom being your hero. I wish you lots of luck in the future.
Bryant Chappell is very deserving of this award. Bryant is an excellent student and a fine young person. I'm very excited for him. I know he's going to do great things, and look forward to seeing all that he accomplishes. Bryant always goes the extra mile, and I know he will continue to do so.
They're Senior of the Week because he's definitely earned it. He's the #1 senior, I think, still, and he participates a lot outside of school in the community. He's in clubs. He's a nice guy. I don't know. He's just a good all-around kid, so he definitely deserves it, and he helps me out whenever I need help. That's for sure.
Some dates to remember are on April 28th at 6 p.m. There's the first mandatory senior parent meeting. And on May 2nd at 10 a.m. there's a mandatory senior parent meeting as well. And you don't have to attend both. You can attend one or the other. And on May 6th at 3:10 p.m. there's a graduation committee meeting.
Also coming up in June on the 2nd at 6 p.m. they have the Senior Awards Night, with the senior group pick being at 5:30 on that date. And on June 7th at 6 p.m. they have the baccalaureate service held at Rocky Hawk Baptist Church this year. And on June 13th at 9:30 in the morning, we will have the class of 2015's graduation.
Woohoo! You murdered.
Oh.
Birthdays. Okay, I forgot what we were doing.